Australia's own oat milk. A review on the DJI Osmo Nano. I've had it for a couple of weeks. So what I'm gonna do is take it out on the field. We're gonna be doing some testing, try to make it cinematic, put in some locations that I guess it would be difficult for a camera to go into. So let's try and get some creative POV. So I'm out and you can see here's the whatever it's called, the vision dock, and the camera accessory bit. But it's all very tiny. I should also mention that I've got the variable ND filter by DJI on it. So it's ND16 right now. How is it looking?
And then we got a filling handle, which is where I can
Can I just get a regular oat latte, please?
this size or?
This size. The lighting looks really nice.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I got some nice shots.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to do a demo?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Nice.
We're trying to close as much gap, and there's just something like.
So there are a couple of things that you need to consider. So when you're using the RockSteady, if you're using it at 25 frames per second, there's just not enough frames for the Osmo Nano to be able to add stabilization. So you're gonna get very jittery footage. If you've got a 25 frames per second timeline, is that for that case, you shoot at 50 frames per second and then just put that in your 25 frames per second timeline. The other thing with the Osmo Nano is that there is no like subject autofocus where you can either make it, say for example, like on the Osmo Nano, Osmo Pocket 3, the product showcase, which means that it will focus on things that are in front of it, or you can have it as single or continuous focus. So you don't have that option because I guess it's an action camera, so it's just gonna do all of that thinking for you. If you want the footage to look smooth with RockSteady on, you're still gonna need to do somewhat of a smooth walk as you're using it on the magnetic mount if you're attaching it onto your chest. So it's not that you have to do that sort of crab walk, but you do have to try to do smooth movements. ISO 12800 is actually usable. I don't know what it is about the noise pattern. Like you can see the noise on the screen, but I don't know. It just seems like I don't really feel like I need to do noise reduction in post-processing. That's just me. Maybe you don't like the noise on it, but for me, I feel like it's usable. The ND filters are very finicky to switch out. There's a little rubber gasket that kind of gets tied up and in the way at times. So it's something to consider. It takes a little bit more time to switch out your filters if you're really looking for that motion blur and you want to have that in your shots. I don't know about you, but I don't like the product name on the front, like when you're filming. So I just put a little bit of gaff tape on there just so that it's not really showing up. And I've just got a little bit of blue cloth tape just to remove some of the brightness because it flickers red and green when you're recording, or I guess green when it's on, red when you're recording, and it's a little bit off-putting if you're trying to be a little bit more stealth. So just a little bit of cloth tape so that you can still see the color, but it's not as in your face. I think it's just, it's a little bit more discreet. It's also a wider field of view than I'm used to, but that's actually quite nice. I can imagine using this out, like just walking around the street when you're on holidays and you get to see the entire perspective. I guess you could use that while you're walking around, or you could use that as your wide angle if you don't want to switch lenses. There's an issue where if I'm using the microphone, I essentially am getting a red line on the screen, on the monitor screen, even though it's not redlining, I can't tell. Be careful with how you're monitoring on the Osmo Nano. This is minus 12 dB with clipping control off. This is 0 gain with clipping control off. This is plus 12 dB with clipping control off. Here's the microphone at minus 12 dB. Here it is at 0 dB. Again, this shouldn't be clipping. I'm not talking that loud. I would dare say that it's actually quite low. This would be too quiet in a conversation. And here is plus 12 dB, which is obviously digitally distorting. At least that's what those levels are showing me. The inbuilt mic is actually very usable. I did 15 Ks last week, so I'm gonna relax today and maybe do 10 Ks. I think that's probably it. So just not to push it too hard. All in all, does this replace cameras? Absolutely not. Does this replace my Osmo Pocket 3? Absolutely not. But it is another bit of kit that will help me document my own life, the projects that I'm doing. I'm really happy to have it as part of my collection. So yeah, it doesn't replace a camera. It doesn't replace your phone. It's an addition to the toolkit. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to travel with it. I can't wait to put it in spots that a camera you won't necessarily want to put your camera there. So there you have it. I hope you've learned something about the Osmo Nano. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it. If this has been informative and you like this style of presentation, I'm going to be doing more videos. So subscribe, stick around, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.